All right, y'all, we back again today with another video. Yesterday I shot this video with the new microphone that I purchased from Amazon, and I wasn't pleased with the content or the sound in the video, so I'm just going to reshoot it for today and go over the shoe. Today I will be reviewing the Air Jordan 4 Rare Airs. I picked this shoe up a couple of days ago. It was a release that came out in July, so I am kind of late with the review, but I hope you check my review.
If you haven't already, can you please go check out my last upload that I did? I went over some of the best back to school sneakers. In that video, I included some old releases as well as some of the more recent releases. If you're not already subscribed, can you please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button? Make sure you're liking the videos as well and engaging with the content. I will try to run through this review really quickly because I've already shot this video yesterday and this is my second time kind of uploading this video. So all the papers and things that were included inside the box, I've already, torn through and pulled out. So it does come in this all over black box. You have our Jumpman and the Flight logo on this side and Jumpman Flight logo on that side and the label right there. The lid has his face on the box, like the little face box that we used to get like in the early 2000s. Label on the box reads Air Jordan 4 Retro. Colorway is black, fire red, deep royal blue. And this is a size 11. Going to the inside of the box, you get that Jumpman, red Jumpman right there with the Flight logo underneath. The cement or speckle paper, and the shoes did come individually wrapped in like the sandwich paper, like that same paper that was included with the Ferrari 14s. Getting to the shoe, you have the Jordan 4 Rare Airs. So this shoe did release back in July, I think July 26th to be exact. They had two different pairs, the white lettering pair and the gold lettering pair. We will peel this Velcro tab off and see which pair that I decided to pick up. These did release earlier in the year around All-Star Weekend. They let some early pairs go. So, a lot of these pairs have already been out for the majority of the year. But, I decided to wait, on the release date. So you guys know how I feel about, waiting on release. Getting into a quick breakdown of the shoe. Down here on the bottom of the midsole, you have your air unit and what appears to be a cell midsole down here. Taking it to the upper, you get mostly a nubuck up here on the back portion of the shoe. And then moving up around the toe box, you get a very deep sway. You can kind of see the back and forth motion as I move my hand back and forth. Up here around the toe box, more of that nubuck. You do have your waffles, your red waffles right here, and then your black waffles up here. Back here on the heel badge, you get your deep royal blue heel badge and a gray Nike Air. I did not realize this was a gray Nike Air until I pulled a shoe out of the box. Going off of photos and pictures, I always thought this Nike Air on the back was white. Taking it to the inside of the shoe, you get a deep royal blue sock liner and then that Rare Air logo on the insole. Taking it out, you do get tissue paper. And the insole, you get that Rare Air logo and a deep royal blue insole. Back here behind the tongue, you get like a fire red Air Jordan. And then that sock or tongue appears to be like gray. I thought it was white as well, but it's a gray tongue behind the backup. And then finally get into the most important part of the shoe, I guess, will be the Velcro patch on the tongue. And we can kind of reveal it or pull it off and reveal which pair that I picked up. So taking it off, I did decide to go with the white pair. or the white lettering pair. Seeing how that was the one that was the most cheapest at the time. I will try to double back and get the gold pair just for, you know, collection or collector's purposes. But you know, I'm pleased with the white pair because, you know, when you have that on there like that, nobody's gonna see, you know, which lettering pair that you have. The left shoe, you do get this deep royal blue hang tag. I did think that was pretty cool on how they did that. They didn't give us the normal orange Nike Air hang tag. It did come with spare laces. My box is pretty much torn apart by now, but like I said, I did this video yesterday, and you know, I opened the shoe yesterday, so yeah, this is how it came. But you do get a deep royal blue spare laces. No more spare laces. I do think they should have gave us a red set of laces or a white set of laces. That would have been pretty cool. But you know, you get what you get. I do think that this shoe draws comparisons to the Jordan 4s that came out in 2019. That was a leather pair, and it basically had some of the original colorways all infused on one shoe. So it had the white cements, the breads, the military blues, and the fire reds included all on one shoe. That shoe didn't do too much when it first came out, but you know, a couple of years down the line, you know, people were doubling back trying to get that shoe, and the price did increase. So, you know, this shoe kind of reminds me of that shoe, just a darker shoe. Instead of, you know, including this in the Rare Air collection, you know, this could have been a What The 2.0, or you know, the What The's from 2019 could have been the home pair, and this could have been a, you know, a What The away pair. I would like to see them, you know, continue this series on other silhouettes. I know you have the Rare Air 11s and the Rare Air 3s. The 3s are okay, they're cool. No offense to anybody that has those. But the 11s, you know, those are kind of a pass. I haven't seen those in hand or in person, but you know, judging by photos and pictures, you know, not my cup of tea. But you know, I would like to see them continue the Rare Air series. They did a really good job on the 4s. The 3s, you know, like I said, they're cool. They're pretty much going for under retail, so you know, if you want to grab those, you could. But you know, the 4s are good enough for me. So they did do these in the same format as the Undefeated 4s. That shoe did release a week after the Rare Air 4s, which is probably why these didn't perform as well. A lot of people had, you know, their focus on the Undefeated 4s. You know, were trying to enter raffles and, you know, do what they needed to do to, you know, secure those first, and then they were trying to double back and grab these. But you know, I wanted to take care of these first, which was a release that happened in July, and then, you know, I would focus more on the Undefeated 4s that released in August. We did have a release on the 2nd, August 2nd, for the Undefeateds, and we have one coming up at the end of August on sneakers, August 28th to be exact. So, you know, I will go over, you know, more detail about that shoe, you know, in upcoming videos, but you know, we'll focus, you know, solely on these. If I had to give these, you know, a scale or a grade, you know, 8.5. You know, they're a decent shoe. Glad I picked them up. Glad I have them in the collection. Like I said, you know, they reminded me of the What The's, and you know, I thought that was pretty cool on how they did that. Instead of going back and, you know, grabbing that shoe, you know, I would pick these up, and you know, these would make do. One more time before we get up out of here, just a quick look at the shoe. And like I always tell you guys, all work is easy work when you're doing what you love to do. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll catch y'all next time.